BNP Paribas, partenaire des plus belles histoires de Roland-Garros, aux côtés des ramasseurs de balles depuis plus de 50 ans.
Yeah, I mean, I think regardless of what happened with Yannick, it's always been very like scary. I think like regardless of, you know, even when you're taking products that are like are safe, it's just so scary every time you go into a test. It's like because any little thing could happen and set it off and cause a contamination or something like that. So even though there's a 99.99% chance every time you do your test that like everything should be fine, it's still that small chance that it takes very little for it to just like have a catastrophic effect on you. So I'd say it is always very stressful, but yeah, I mean, I'm always making sure to take stuff that's always marked NSF approved and not take stuff that's not, I guess. No, I'd say it's like I said, it's from the beginning. It's always been so stressful. It's like it's every time because we get tested so much. It's you always have to be on it, and it's always been scary for me even since I first started getting tested. That like any little thing that you have no control over and you have maybe no idea how it got in. It's going to ruin your not only can ruin your career but also your potential reputation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so from what I understand, the rule is with our whereabouts, you give them the hour window, and if you have to be there in that hour, and if you're not there, then you'll get a strike. But if they find a way to make contact with you, whether it's on the phone or some other way outside of your window, then you have to make yourself available, which, to be honest, is very annoying. Because if they call you while I'm driving to practice or something and I answer the call, then they have to come to the practice run training and meet me and do it. So yeah, I mean it's sometimes inconvenient. I've had them in one time I got off a flight in I think I got to Shanghai, so definitely not in my window at all. But they caught me in the lobby. I was so jet lagged and I couldn't pee, and so the guy was basically just in my room, and I was like taking naps for 10 minutes at a time because I was so jet lagged and so tired. And I just kept waking myself up every 10 minutes to like see if I could pee because I couldn't. I sitting there waiting to pee. I couldn't keep my eyes open. I couldn't even stay awake. Yeah, she was just sitting there. There's nothing I could do. I mean, I've sat in. I think pretty much all of the top 10 players on the men's and women's side are all together on this. That we want to, just push for a better just share of the revenue. I think the revenue percentages is off. It's not about the outright number that we're getting paid because of slams. It's obviously our biggest payday. It's obviously the most we're getting paid, but in terms of the players making the tournament happen and the percentage of revenue coming back to the players is very low for tennis and extremely low when compared to other sports. So I think I wouldn't say I'm like leading the charge or anything, but I've been involved like everyone else has been. No, I was in Geneva. Yep. I think it's good. I think the thing is, it's also the U.S. also uses one of their wild cards as well at the U.S. Open for an American that performs the best in the tournament. So I'm not sure how the other countries distribute their. I know how we do it with all our wild cards is who earns the most points in the lead-in, which I think is a great system that we do.
How often would you say you take the court, either with some form of injury or dealing with pain, and is it ever for you, is there ever that debate of like, gee, I really don't feel like going out there, but I need to?
I definitely never feel like I don't feel like going out there. I always want to go out and play, but yeah, I mean that's something I've struggled with a lot this year. Of just playing when I probably shouldn't be playing. I think for Dallas and Delray, I definitely shouldn't have been playing. And then in Acapulco, I was there practicing, and then in the practices, it just became super apparent, like, I'm gonna get killed if I play. Like, I'm too injured to actually even, like, put up a decent, like, match. So that's when I kind of stopped it, and then kind of same thing after Miami. I re-aggravated my injury after Miami, and I was like, if I go on clay right now, which is going to be even tougher to play through with my injury, then, you know, it's going to be a big problem. So, you know, I took two more weeks off there. So I'd say I play through injury like a lot over the years. I normally don't pull out, but I've never really had a lot of injuries that last more than like, you know, a short time. So maybe I play through it 1 week, and then the next week it's fine. And I'm good. And but yeah, this year's been difficult for sure. Kind of finding the balance between playing and not playing.
When you do sort of push yourself to play, when maybe you shouldn't, why is that? Is that because of sponsorship, commitments?
No. It's as simple as I'm really stubborn, and I like competing. I tell myself that I believe that I can still go out and win, and there's been so many times where I felt injured, and as soon as I start playing, I feel better, I feel less injured, you know. So yeah, it's just me being stubborn, and I love to compete, and I believe I'm delusional, and I believe that I can still win. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. Oblique. Yeah, I just had my first hit here.
It's your first day here?
Yeah, I hit here. But we played with them last week, but it's a bit different conditions last week because it's just altitude. But yeah, they're super dead. They don't go anywhere. They feel good to hit with. That's what I've always said. You feel like you can't miss, but the ball goes nowhere. There's no reward for like hitting a good shot unless you're one of the few guys that can just generate insane amounts of pace off of a dead ball. It's just unfortunate. We played the entire clay court season with one ball and then switched for the biggest one.
In general, in your game, what shot has changed the most over the years? What have you kind of technically made the most changes to?
I don't feel like I've technically like really changed anything. I think back in like end of 2021, I started kind of finding some rhythm on my forehand, and I think that is the main reason why I improved a lot and became much better. Obviously, like movement on the court as well. You know, a couple of years back, I started returning a little bit further back, not so close up all the time. I think that helped me a lot too. But I'd say that's about it. I think I've just become just all around better player, but there hasn't been anything of my game that's like really changed like a lot.
Last one, anyone? Do you have, has it been especially frustrating dealing with this injury while you're ranked so high, and you know, for the world, you get great draws, things like that, and it happens to be probably maybe your most unhealthy year in a couple of years.
It's my most unhealthy year ever, for sure. Yeah, it's the least it's the least tennis I've ever played, because I guess what you guys don't see is like in between the tournaments, I'm not playing tennis at all. Like just now, since Madrid is to now is basically the only time I've been able to actually like practice when I haven't been in tournament since basically before Dallas. Anytime I haven't actually been at the tournament, I've been taking the time off. So, tournament wise, not very healthy, but tennis wise, the least amount of tennis I've ever played for sure. But I'd say it's not necessarily frustrating because of the ranking. It's just frustrating because like I feel like I've lost a lot of really close matches this year already, that if I was just a little bit sharper, a little bit better, I could have gotten myself out of. So I think that's been the big thing. I just need to get through some of these tight matches.
Thank you.